Somebody once said, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people want, so you can spend the rest of your life most people can't. Hi, I'm Farookh Sensei. In this short video presentation, I would like to take you through business leadership. A successful business is built on business leadership. The inspiration behind this video is the book Enter Leadership by Dave Ramsey. Enter Leadership is a blend of great leadership and entrepreneurship. And Enter Leadership leads people in a way that brings growth and prosperity to the business. As a boss, you have the positional power to sign a check, hire and fire people, but that does not make you a leader. To build a strong team, you need persuasional leadership. Great leaders are often servant leaders. They see leadership roles not as a title, but a form of service. Passion is an essential ingredient for success in any organization. When you and your team truly care about what you're doing, it drives action, results, service, and even forgiveness. Without dream, nothing new or exciting would ever be created. Dreams would remain as dreams until you take massive action. You can create something only if you can see it in your mind. Crystallize your vision and share it with your team consistently so you are all working toward the same vision. Your mission statement captures your dream and vision to guide your goal. A mission statement tells who you are, what you do, how you will do it, and why you will do it. It will take time and numerous redrafts to craft a good mission statement. Goals translate your dreams and vision into an actionable form. Develop goals in all areas of your life, including career, finance, spiritual, physical, intellectual, family, and social. Effective goals should be SMART, S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, actionable. It has to be relevant and time-bound. Put your goals in writing. In other words, ink it, not just think it. Shared goals require clear communication. It helps people to focus on a wider objective beyond their personal interest. Make the most of your time. Time is one of your most critical resources. When you purposefully direct your time and see progress from your effort, you will feel energized. However, when you are firefighting and going around in circle, you will feel drained. Dr. Stephen R. Covey introduced the 4 quadrants of time and use. Things that are urgent and important falls in quadrant number 1. Things that are not urgent but important falls in quadrant number 2. Things that are urgent but not important falls in quadrant number 3. And things that are neither urgent nor important falls in quadrant number 4. We tend to neglect quadrant number 2, things that are important but not urgent, such as exercise, strategic planning, and personal growth. This is the quadrant that makes the biggest long-term difference. If not addressed on time, the item in quadrant 2 will end up in quadrant 1, making it urgent and important. Prioritize your time with a daily action list. Before going to bed, list down everything you must do the next day. Label them as A, for things that must be done today, B, for things that must be done very soon, and C, for things that can be delegated or put aside. Then go through items in the A list and rank them as A1, A2, A3, and so forth. Using this question, if I can do only one thing today, what will be the most crucial item. Do the same for your B and C list. Put A1 at the top of your action list and focus on that above all else. Now let's talk about meeting. Meetings are essential in any organization, but they can also be a huge time waster if not properly managed. Set a clear agenda in advance. Have everyone come prepared to address those objectives and ensure there's proper follow-up after each meeting. Your desk reflects how organized or disorganized you are. Clean up a messy desk, remove, finish, or delegate loose items sitting around. Use technology to make your work more productive, but don't waste all your time playing with gadgets. A leader must make hard decisions and act in spite of criticism. To overcome indecision, you must conquer your fear, which can otherwise paralyze you. State your fear out loud so you are aware of what's holding you back and can then address it. Step back to examine your worst-case scenario to see your fears most objectively. Here are some tips for making good decisions. It's okay to hold a decision until you have more info, but always set a firm deadline. Allocate time based on the size of the decision. Don't delay small decisions, for example, making a $10 purchase. Don't do that. Set aside enough time to research and test your opinions and options before making big strategical decisions. The best cure for fear and lousy decisions is to have a lot of options. Don't settle for bad option. Keep searching until you find better ones. Invest time and effort to gather information so you can make sound decisions. Get inputs from both internal as well as external experts who have real-life experience in any area, for example, lawyers, marketers, etc. Consult your spouse for important business decisions, and you may be surprised at the insight he or she can offer. Coach and equip your team to make good decisions so your business can eventually run without you. Start by sharing ideas and options with your team members and have them return with 3 proposed options and an action plan. Involve them in the decision-making process so they can learn how you think. Your goal is to reach the point where your team members can make decisions and simply update you on an issue and how they resolve the challenge. Establish clear principles and values for decision making. Break down big complex decisions into smaller parts or smaller chunks. Write a report on your decision to activate a different part of your brain and gain clarity. Consider the financial implications, for example, impact on cash flow and profits. Now let's talk about marketing. Marketing is basically your plan to get your product and service to the customer. It's much more than selling and advertising, but there's no mystery or magic to it. It's about having the right ingredient and recipe. Timing is critical in marketing, including when to enter a market or launch a store or a product. The first version of your product is almost never the version that succeeds in the marketplace. Don't overstock for a new product launch. Start small with a prototype and keep revamping it. Don't rely just on your intuitions. Always test, measure, and refine your options. You can do paid research and focus group studies or find creative ways to get feedback for little or no cost. Take the right actions depending on where you are in the product or market life cycle. Move your customers through a funnel. Marketing is only effective if it's infused with energy. When people believe your product is limited and precious, they would line up and pay a premium for it. Give people a reason to buy now. For example, offering a limited number of items at an irresistible offer price. With the right recipe and persistence, you too can create unstoppable momentum. It's perfectly fine to start small and grow your business via bootstrapping. There's no point in taking huge loans to launch a big only to collapse quickly. It's a good idea to start a business part-time while holding a job. It would mean working much harder initially, but it gives you time to build a proper business foundation. Focus on finding solutions to people's needs and problems. Only quit your job when you have a good chance of sustaining yourself and your business without it. Until your business is profitable, just suck it up and do the hard lifting. You are only ready to expand when you are making profits. You would want to start a business that makes money and fits your calling and passion. However, don't sit around waiting for the perfect opportunity. It's perfectly fine to work for money initially. Just make sure you do it with passion and excellence as if it was your calling. Don't waste money on programs and courses that promise overnight success. There is no shortcut to success. You will have to work hard. In the longer term, it's important to find your calling such that your business matches your skills, abilities, personality, values, dream, and passion. Business is hard work, and it will need a strong reason beyond money to persist. Working on your calling gives you energy, fulfillment, and a clear direction as your business changes and evolves. Now let's talk about hiring and firing effectively. Turnover is costly as it means time and resources spent hiring and training someone else, lost opportunities while the person is being replaced, and reduced team morale. This can be avoided by hiring the right people in the first place. The key is to filter out people who are not a good fit before you hire them. Define the key results area, what we call as KRAs. Referrals are usually more effective than advertisement. Do an initial screening with a short 30-minute interview. Use the resume for an overview of the person's skills, experience, and testing tools, for example, personality tests, to assess potential fit. Observe if the candidate lights up when discussing the role. Only hire someone if you can pay them enough to meet their personal needs and the role fits with their dreams and goals. Don't hire anyone you don't like. Use a 90-day probation to mutually test out the arrangement before making a firm commitment. It's your responsibility to demand excellence. Don't close an eye to underachievement or misbehavior. When someone falls short of expectations, remind them of what's expected. Keep it short. Focus on the problem, not on the person. Ensure to speak to the person privately and not in public. And be gentle and kind. Repeat the same conversation again if required and remind them of what's expected. People may leave voluntarily if they realize that they are not suited for the role. There are only 3 reasons for someone to be fired. Reason number 1, leadership breakdown. For example, lack of clear KRAs, or which stands for key result areas, and proper training, resources, or unsolved conflicts. Fix it as soon as possible. Now let's move on to reason number 2, personal challenges or family challenges. For example, a divorce case or a sick child. Understand the issue and treat people the way you would have liked to be treated. But ensure there's some progress and you can accept a temporary dip in the performance. Let's move on to number 3. Reason number 3, incompetence. For example, skills or behavioral issue. Quantify the gap and identify ways to bridge it. For example, via training or counseling. Where possible, give people a chance to improve first. However, release someone immediately if you discover a character issue, for example, sexual harassment or stealing, or if the person is found to be unsuitable during the 90-day probation. Now let's talk about selling. Master the art of selling by serving. I repeat that once again. Master the art of selling by serving. Here are 4 key steps you need to master when it comes to sales. Number 1, qualification. Only sell to qualified prospects who have the money, time, need and want, and decision-making power to buy. Number 2, build rapport. People will only buy if they trust your company and products and services. You typically have 1 minute to establish common ground with a buyer and start a dialogue through your website, product packaging, graphics, or in person. Now let's move on to step number 3, education. Great salesperson don't push. They pull people by serving them. I repeat that once again, by serving them. To do that, you need detailed product knowledge, conviction that your product will help your customer, and information on how exactly you are stronger or weaker than your competitors. Show your client that you will get more value than the time and the money invested in the purchase. And the last and the final step is to close the sale. Never think of closing the sale without the previous 3 steps. Remember, the sale isn't done until money is in the pocket or money is in the bank account. As a business leader, it's essential to apply sound financial principles. Becoming financially healthy is actually very simple if you follow the right principles. Don't make important decisions when you are feeling emotional. Many small businesses sink because they start with insufficient capital, spend too much money, and run into cash flow challenges. Keep your personal and business accounts separate and account for every cent that's earned, spent in the business. Use business budgeting to plan ahead. Your initial forecast will be mainly guesswork, but it will get more accurate with time. Invest only on things that affect profits. Don't buy things just to seem credible or to save on taxes. Avoid debt. I repeat that once again. Avoid debt. When you operate with available limited resources, you are forced to be more creative. Set aside cash for low seasons so you don't have to borrow, and use debit card or cash rather than using credit cards. I repeat once again, don't use credit cards. For large purchases, save up and pay cash or rent first and buy later. Consider buying used items instead of new ones for a fraction of the cost. As your business grows, set aside part of your profits as retained earnings. Use it as emergency fund with 6 months operating expenses for business investments, for example, hiring people, launch a new product, and to leverage on unexpected opportunities. Set aside resources, for example, products, services, or profits, so you can give generously to your team and meaningful causes. Only pay yourself more when you are debt-free with some retained earnings. Now let's talk about creating a culture of communication. If people don't see the big picture, there will also be a lot of missed opportunities. Great companies consistently reinforce the value of communication and are intentional about how and what they communicate. Keep repeating your company's dream, vision, mission statement, and goals. Messages won't stick until people hear it many times. Share your company's stories and history, as well as the future you are building together. During crisis, it's critical to over-communicate with your team in terms of the frequency and amount of details. Don't tolerate any gossip. Get people to bring challenges to leaders instead of complaining to peers or subordinates. Facilitate communication using various tools and methods. For example, weekly company-wide staff meeting, where each department quickly share what it's doing, focus meeting between senior leaders or within departments, and mail, for example, email or text message, one-page weekly report for team members to consolidate and share what they have done. The goal is to create free-flow communication and alignment across the team. Leaders should also walk around the company regularly, sense the vibe, and connect with the people face to face. You can't win your employees' loyalty unless you are first loyal to them. You are working with real people with dreams, goals, hope, and pain. Get to know each person on your team. Fulfill your promises and help them to live better lives. Businesses are like a sports team or a music band. Individual talent is useless if the members don't play in unity. Unity requires 5 key components. Number 1, frequent open communication. Number 2, a shared purpose, dream, vision, and goals. Number 3, no gossip. Number 4, conflict resolution. And number 5, performance management. Every human being wants to be recognized and appreciated. Make the effort to catch people doing the right things. Recognize them with a nod, a smile, and compliment. You can also give something in writing with small tokens, but make sure you do that in front of those who matter to them. For example, their peers or their spouses. The key is to be intentional and sincere. As a business leader, it is your responsibility to get a grip on the day-to-day operations. Get on top of these 3 technical aspects of operations. Number 1, contracts. Number 2, collections. And number 3 are vendors, which affect your business health and send powerful signals to your team and customers. Don't treat contracts as a form of protection or control. Contracts want guarantee that people perform, keep their words, or behave in a certain way. When a contract is violated, the cost of suing the other party is often too high to be worth the effort. Your best protection is to deal only with people with integrity. Instead, treat contracts as communication tool to capture what you have agreed on. Do get a good attorney. Consider various scenarios, including the best, worst case scenarios. Craft mutually beneficial deals and educate yourself on key contractual terms. Difficulties with payment collection are usually a sign of underlying challenges. Set up a proper collection procedure, for example, a series of courtesy calls or reminders, followed by account termination or a shift to cash on delivery after 60 or 90 days. Only consider filing a case if the customer has the money but refuses to pay and the debt is a sizable one. Build strong, long-term relationship by essential vendors who supply vital service to your company. Ensure that such vendors are led by people with integrity, have the capacity to handle your needs, can operate viably at the prices you want, and are able to uphold the quality of your product and services. Motivate your people with the right compensation plans. How you pay people tells how much you value them. Be intentional about the message you send and reward only what you want more of. You can use a blend of compensation tools, including number 1, salary, number 2, profit sharing, number 3, commissions, number 4, profit and loss bonus, number 5, salary plus gross revenue %, and number 6, benefits tailored for your company. It's easier to increase than decrease compensations. For your business to grow bigger than you must delegate. You can only do so effectively after all the other components above are in place. That is, you already have a clear vision, an organization culture, operational foundation. Delegation to your team is very much like giving freedom to a teenager. Trust is earned each time someone delivers what's promised and shows that he or she has the integrity and competency to handle a task in a desired way. The reverse happens when someone fails to deliver on their commitment. Such a process takes time. Initially, you must invest time, effort to teach new people details that would help them succeed in a role. Once you delegate something, make sure you give the person the authority along with the responsibility and accountability. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. To get regular notification, please click on the bell icon. If you want to become a professional speaker, presenter, coach, trainer or business leader, visit FarookSensei.com. Please check out my video on personal growth and leadership mastery.